truly wonderful method, whereby all the forms of nature must give up their numerical secrets and draw themselves through number alone. This margin being too mean for my method, the reader must look elsewhere for the new geometry of irregular forms discovered by Thomasina Company. Does it mean anything?
I don't know. I don't know what it means. Except mathematically.
It means mathematically.
It's an iterated algorithm.
What's that?
Jesus. It's an algorithm that's been iterated. How am I supposed to? Okay. The left-handed pages are graphs of what the numbers are doing on the right-handed pages. But all on different scales. Each graph is a small section of the previous one blown up. Like a detail of a photograph, and then the detail of a detail, and so on forever. Or in her case, till she ran out of pages.
Is it difficult?
Mathematics is difficult. It's what you did at school. You have x and y equation. Any value for x will give you a value for y. So you put a dot where it's right for both x and y. Then your next value for x will give you another value for y. And when you've done that a couple of times, join up the dots, and that's your graph of whatever the equation is.
And is that what she's doing?
No, not exactly. Not at all. What she's doing is that every time she works out her value for y, she's using that as the next value for x. It's like feedback. She's feeding the solution back into the equation and then solving it again. Iteration, you see.
And that's surprising, is it?
But it is a bit. I mean, it's a technique I'm using on my graph numbers, and it's only been around for, well, let's call it 40 years.
Well, then why would she be doing it?
I have no idea. I thought you were doing it.
I still am. Very noble champion. Thomasina's tutor turns out to have interesting connections. Bernard's going through the library like a bloodhound. The portfolio's in the cupboard.
There's a lot of stuff around, and Gus loves going through it.
Mathematics grammar she was using belonged to him, the tutor. He wrote his name in it.
Septimus Hodge.
Why were these things saved, do you think?
Should there be a reason?
And this diagram, what's it up?
How should I know?
Why are you cross?
I'm not cross. We're not Thomasina and Korean mathematics have been in the same mathematics for a couple of thousand years. Classic. And then a century after Thomasina. Then mathematics left the real world behind, just like modern art, really. Nature was classical, mathematics was suddenly Picasso's. But nature's having the last laugh. The 3D stuff is turning out to be the mathematics of the natural world.
The feedback thing.
For example.
So Thomasina had...
No, of course she bloody couldn't.
All right, you're not cross. What do you mean you're doing the same thing she was doing? What are you doing?
Actually, I'm doing it from the other end. She had a graph and turned it into an equation. I have a graph, real data, and I'm trying to find the equation that would give you the graph if you used it the way she used hers. Iterate it.
What for?
I'll tell you how the population changes in biology. Goldfish in a pond, say. This year there are X goldfish. Next year there will be Y goldfish. Some get born, some get eaten by heron, whatever. Nature manipulates X and then turns it into Y. Then Y is your starting population for the following year. Just like Thomasina, your value for Y will be your next value for X. The question is, what is being done to X? What is the manipulation? Whatever it is, can be written down as mathematics. It's called algebra.
It can't be the same every year.
The details change. It's not that you can't keep tabs on everything. It's not nature at once. But it isn't necessary to know the details. When everything's put together, it turns out the population is obeying a mathematical rule.
Goldfish up.
Yes, now the numbers. Look, it's not about the behavior of fish, it's about the behavior of numbers. This works for any phenomenon which eats its own numbers. Nasal epidemics, rainfall averages, cotton prices. It's all a phenomenon in itself. It's spooky.
Does it work for graphs?
But no. I mean, it doesn't matter, but it's hard to show. There's a lot more noise with graphs.
Noise.
Distortions, interference. Your data's messy. There were 1,000 acres of moorland that had grouse on it. Always did till about 1930. But they didn't count the grouse, they shot. So you count the grouse they shot. But burning the heather interferes, it improves the food supply. But good for foxes works the other way. They eat the chicks. Then there's the weather. I mean the noise. Impossible.
So what do you do?
You start guessing with the tune. You try to pick it out of the noise. You try this, you try that, you start to get something. It's half-baked, but you start putting in the notes that are missing. Not quite the right notes. And bit by bit, lost algorithm.
Yes. And then what?
I publish.
Okay. Yes, so it's really good.
Well, that's the thing. Grouse are bastards compared to goldfish.
Well, why did you choose them?
The game books, my true inheritance. 200 years of real data on a plate.
Somebody wrote down everything that's shot.
Well, that's what a game book is. I'm using them from the 1870s.
You mean the books go back to Thomasina's time?
Oh, yes, but no, really, I promise you. Some schoolgirl living in a country house in Derbyshire in 18 something.
Well, then what was she doing?
She was just playing with numbers. The truth is she wasn't doing anything.
She must have been doing something.
Doodle. I think she understood.
A monkey at a typewriter.
Yes, but yeah.
Method whereby all the forms of nature must give up their numerical secrets and draw themselves through number alone. This feedback thing, is it a way of making pictures out of forms of nature? Tell me if it is or it isn't.
To me it is. Pictures of turbulence, growth, creation, change. It's not the way of drawing an elephant, for God's sake.
I'm sorry. So you couldn't draw a picture of this leaf by iterating on what's it?
Oh yes, you could do that.
Oh my God, tell me! I could kill you!
If you knew the algorithm, then fed it back, say, 10,000 times each time, you know the dots are on the screen. You never know what to expect them to. Gradually you start to see the shape, because each dot would be inside the shape of this leaf. There wouldn't be a leaf. A mathematical object. But yes, the unpredictable and the predetermined unfold together to make everything the way it is. It's how nature creates itself, on every scale. A snowflake and a snowstorm. It makes me so happy to be at the beginning again, knowing almost nothing. I mean, people were talking about the end of physics, relativity and quantum was like they were going to solve the whole problem between them. A theory of everything. They only solved the very big and the very small. The universe, the elementary particles, the ordinary size which is our lives, the things people write poetry about. Daffodils, clouds, waterfalls, and what happens to a cup of coffee when the cream goes in. These things are full of mystery. As mysterious to us as the heavens were to the Greeks. I mean, we're better at predicting events at the edge of a galaxy or in the nucleus of an atom than whether or not it will rain on Auntie's garden party 2 Saturdays from now. Because the problem turns out to be different. We can't really predict the next drip in a dripping tap when it becomes irregular. Each drip sets up the next condition for the next. The smallest variation blows prediction apart. And whether it's unpredictable the same way will always be unpredictable. When you push the numbers through the computer, you can see it on the screen. Future is disorder. A door like this is cracked open maybe 5 or 6 times since we got up on our hind legs. It's the best possible time to be alive. And almost everything you thought you knew is wrong.
Well, the weather is fairly predictable in the Sahara.
The scale is different, but the graph goes up and down the same way. 6,000 years in the Sahara, much like 6 months in Manchester, I bet you.
How much?
Everything you have to lose.
No.
Quite right. That's why there's corn in Egypt.
What's he playing?
I don't know. He makes it up.
Well, we call him genius.
That's what Mother calls it. Maybe she means it. Last year, some expert had me digging in the wrong place for months to find something or other. Foundations of capability Rand's boat house. I guess it was a right first year.
Did he ever speak?
He did. Until he was 5. Never asked about it. Because I'm upset for good reading.
Yes, I've always been given credit for my unconcern.
English bars and Scotch reviewers of penciled superstition, listen and kiss my cycle clips. O harbinger of sleep, who missed the press and hoped his drone might thus escape redress. The wretched traitor, bard of Ero's couch, for his narcotic, let my pencil vouch. You see, you've got to turn over
every page.
Is it his handwriting?
Oh, come on.
Obviously not.
What do you want?
Proof!
Quite right. Proof? What are you talking about?
Proof? You have to be there, you silly bitch!
I say, you are speaking of my fiancée.
Especially when I have a present for you, Bernard. Look what I found. Lady Crewe writing from London to her husband. Her brother, Captain Bryce, married a Mrs. Chater, or in other words, one might assume a widow.
I told you he was dead. What year is it? 1810? Oh my God! 1810! How do you know what this means? Are you going to tell me it's a different Mrs. Chater?
No, it's all right. No to a Christian name.
Charity. Deny what cannot be proven for charity's sake!
Don't kiss me!
Should I let anyone kiss
You see, they wrote, they scribbled. They put it down on paper. Paper was what they had. It was their employment and diversion. And there will be more. There is always more. We can find it.
Such passion for his Valentine now, you. It's moving.
Oh, the aristocratic friend of the tutor under the same roof as the poor sod whose book he savaged. And the first thing he does is seduce Chater's wife. All is discovered. There is a duel. Chater dead, Byron fled. P.S. Guess what? The widow married her ladyship's brother. Are you honestly going to tell me not a word of it down? How could they not? It has dropped from you, but we can write it again.
You can, Bernard. I'm not going to take any credit. I haven't done anything.
Right. That's very kind of you. Very generous.
Prudent. Chater could have died of anything, anywhere.
But it was a duel with Byron.
You haven't established it was Byron. You haven't established it was Byron. For God's sake, Bernard, you haven't established Byron was even here.
You know what your problem is? No guts.
Really?
By which I mean a visceral belief in oneself. Gut instinct. The part of us that does not reason. The certainty for which there is no back reference. Because time is reversed. Tock-tick goes the universe and then recovers itself. But you were in there. You saw it. You bloody know.
Are you talking about Lord Byron?
No, you fucking idiot. We're talking about Lord Byron, the chartered accountant.
Well, he was your poet.
How do you know?
He's in the bin book. I think he shot her head. I read the whole lot when I had him on this. Quite interesting.
Where's the book?
It's not the one I mean. It's too early.
1809.
They've always been in the commode. Ask her.
Chloe. Chloe!
Mother's lent him her bicycle. Owning one's bicycle is a form of safe sex, possibly the safest there is. Mother's in a flutter about Bennett. He's no fool. Gave her a first edition of Horse Walk. Now she lent him a bicycle. Can I keep these for her?
Yes, of course. What I don't understand is why nobody did this feedback thing before. I mean, it's not like relativity. You don't have to be Einstein.
I couldn't see to look before. Electronic calculator was what the first one was for Galileo.
Calculator.
There wasn't enough time before. There weren't enough pencils. This took her I don't know how many days, and she hasn't scratched the paperwork. Now all she'd have to do is press a button. The same button over and over. Iteration. A few minutes. But what I've done in a couple of months with only a pencil, the calculation can take me the rest of my life to do again. Thousands of